Yep.
Nate Loper, Canyon Ministries. Man, dude, thank you, first of all, for getting me on this section of river.
Dude, you're very welcome. Thanks for coming. I mean, this is awesome. I was stoked that you were on this trip.
It was so neat to meet new friends. Your reach through Canyon Ministries, what I noticed on this trip, is pretty amazing, pretty incredible, or credible.
Yeah.
It's not incredible, it's credible.
It's both, a little of both.
I hear incredible, but that means without credit.
Right, okay.
But you're credible. And the people that you guys reach, and we saw a family that was on a rim tour.
Yep.
A few years back.
8 years ago.
Tell us about that.
8 years ago, a family on that rim tour with me. And 8 years ago, I told them about the river trip, and they've been planning this and trying to get on for like 8 years, and like COVID and all kinds of issues. Like
8 years.
8 years ago, and I remember like this family and these guys when they were like little kids.
Yeah.
And now I'm seeing them like growing up and like all going out of college and doing like adult stuff, and I'm like, whoa! And they're still on fire, still loving the Lord,
still love
on fire
Jesus.
about creation.
Well, I saw them at the hotel that we stayed in Las Vegas before we came here, and I was at that moment where one of the daughters said, "Are you Nate?" And you said, "Yeah," and then the whole bridge, started. So then that connected. So 8 years ago, they're on a rim tour, which these guys do an amazing rim tour around the the south rim of the Grand Canyon. They also take folks down in through hiking. Right. But now this family is here with us on this 92-mile river trip.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, and that was like in the early days of me even guiding, like 2 years into me being a guide out here. Right. And now they're back, and I'm like, man, it's awesome. And they were like still remembering stuff we talked about 8 years ago. Yeah. And I'm like, dude, the impact that you can have when you take people outside into God's creation, boom, it lasts a lifetime. They're a testimony of that, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Dude. Well, now this is not going to be a long interview or vlog, but you kind of touched on it because 8 years ago, and then you had mentioned that you had been a guide at 2 years, and then your eyes kind of lit up when you talked about getting people outside so you can teach them about God's creation.
Right.
That's my core question is, after a decade plus of doing this, what fires you up? What stokes your fire about doing this? Because I would say being away from your family and all that, on the river for all these weekends and all that kind of stuff, in the normal realm, without a fire burning inside you, could take its toll. So what keeps you stoked?
I'll tell you what, when you see people's eyes light up because they are spending time in God's amazing creation, and they're seeing something brand new, and I don't care how old or how young you are, we are all a bunch of kids running around in our daddy's playground. Yeah. Just seeing the grand glory of all this place. Yeah. And when I can see somebody else's eyes light up, to me, it's like a Christmas morning for me where I get a chance to like pour into somebody, or even from my own children, if I give them a gift and I see their eyes light up, I kind of like help facilitate a little bit of that. And it almost, to me, like it makes me kind of think about what our Father God thinks when we ourselves enjoy his creation, that we get lit up, we get excited about it. So if I can help that in somebody else's life, dude, that's what fires me up. That's what keeps me back. The canyon's amazing. Canyon's beautiful.
River,
it's the people that I come back
for. The
for.
circle, last night we had a circle teaching. You had mentioned just a few seconds ago, facilitating. You're a facilitator from Father about God's creation. I think that would keep me jazzed. Yeah. Get me up every morning, plus running your staff, plus running all the logistics that you do. How long have you been doing this as director?
Director about 5 years now almost.
Okay. I remember when you came on.
Yeah. And been out here with Canyon Ministries a total of 11 years now. So yeah.
Now you had mentioned that you have brought a number, like the first time that you were coming on, you were bringing around 200. I might be wrong on the number.
Yeah, like 200-300, somewhere around there. I think that we were running in those early days when I first came out.
Okay. And then last year,
a little over 4,500.
So almost 5,000 people through this.
Yeah. We've had 100% growth in the last 5 years since I came on too as executive director. So we're like blowing up.
That's a whole other video on how you do that, but we're not going to get into those weeds.
It's not what I do, it's what he does.
Right. But so you're saying 4,500 people on the river? On rim tours?
On rim tours.
On
river
hiking?
The Grand Canyon stuff we do.
Yeah.
Yep. And then another 1,500, 2,000 people on speaking engagements. So last year, over 6,000, 6,500 people that we ministered to with Canyon Ministries.
Well, I just wanted to do a short clip because I was able to capture him for a few minutes because I never can, but he's stuck. It's like a captive audience. We're on the river together. There's nowhere else to go.
That's right.
And man, check out Canyon Ministries online. Google Nate Loper. He's got some amazing teaching videos as well about biblical creation and how that if you're young, your teenagers are kind of like, not knowing what's going, get them on one of these trips.
Yeah.
Like he was saying, 8 years ago, this young family came and now they're on this river trip. And I just talked to the daughter who's a traveling nurse possibly. And she says, I'm going to do more of these river trips.
Yeah.
So check out canyonministries.org. And also Google Nate's name. There's a lot of great teachings about creation and theology and geology. Also archaeology. He's also got
we cover a lot of ologies around here.
A lot of ology, studies of. And share just a real quick one about Egypt and some of that.
Yeah, so we do trips, like some trips and tours internationally. So England, especially London, and trips to Egypt, biblical archaeology tours in Egypt. Awesome. EgyptChristianTours.com or LondonChristianTours.com. Okay, folks, canyonministries.org. Love you, Steve Lummer, Nate Loper. Love this dude. He's awesome. God bless.